In middle school, I used to see myself as the loser in the corner of the room who played video games and jacked off. And guess what happened to me whenever I tried to quit jacking off or video games? It was incredibly difficult because I saw myself as the person who did those things. If, for example, I saw myself like at that time as a person who read books all the time, then guess what I would have started doing? I would have started reading books. How you see yourself, your self-image is extremely important because it guides what you do. In my previous example, because I saw myself as someone who played video games, who jacked off, that's exactly what I did. Because I saw myself as the loser essentially, guess that's what I was. And it was so incredibly difficult to change it. It felt like an uphill battle, like only getting down and down until you getting back up and getting back up. And just what helped me was actually changing my self-image. Because the thing is, like, you can always go against your self-image. Like, if you want to quit playing video games, you can always quit for like a day or two, but eventually you'll go back to it. Like, you'll go back to what you see yourself doing because it just doesn't go with your brain. Like, it goes against what your brain thinks. If your brain thinks you play video games, all of a sudden you don't do it for a few days, then it's like panic mode. Like, go back. What are you doing? So you have to change your self-image. And what truly helped me was just in my own head, almost lying to myself. I almost had to lie to myself. I don't play video games. I don't jack off anymore. Like, I had to lie to myself, to my own brain, like in internal dialogue. Like, I didn't say this out loud, obviously, but I don't play video games anymore. I don't eat candy anymore. Like, those affirmations is the word. Those affirmations are so incredibly useful because it's almost like it's just a mold. Your brain is a mold, and you're changing that mold by telling your brain things. So if you say you play video games when you don't, like, your brain will mold, it will shape into the person who plays video games, the brain who plays video games. And lying to itself to get out of video games works the same way. You just have to almost lie to yourself to just start shaping your brain away from what you want to stop doing. That's why fake it till you make it works too. It's not that you eventually just all of a sudden gain confidence. It's because you're acting out in a way that someone who is confident would. So eventually you do become that confident person because that's just how you see yourself. And as another step, so you lies, like affirmations to your own brain. And then also obviously actions. Because you can say, "Oh yeah, I don't play video games," and then you just hop onto your like PS4 every afternoon. Like, you have to lie to yourself, but then you actually have to do the thing. And you can't just do the thing either because again, you'll go back to what you think yourself to. So you have to lie to yourself and do the action of either what you want to start doing or what you want to stop doing. So if you want to start reading, you say, "I am a book reader. I am a scholar." And then you sit down and read a book. Like, even if you don't read a book tomorrow, that simple step is going to put you so much more further than if you just read a book randomly or if you just said, "I'm a scholar" in your own brain and then just kept doing whatever. And then also like rehearsing in your own brain as well. So in like plays, there's also always rehearsals, always people practicing to make sure everything is perfect how they want it. You can do that in your own brain as well. It's called visualization. So in your own brain, imagine yourself being that person instead of like saying, "I'm not that kind of person" or "I am that kind of person." imagine yourself when you are or aren't that kind of person. So if you don't play video games, imagine yourself getting back home, like putting away your backpack or whatever, and then sitting down, like eating a meal and then reading a book. Like just imagining yourself is just another amazing step to go further. Because you imagine yourself like reading a book, and guess what you're more likely to do when you get home? You're more likely to do what you've already done in your head. It's almost like you're building a routine, a habit in your own brain. Like, and whenever you play piano, you have to play a song like uh, hundreds of times before you can get it really good, like really precise. Like, that's almost like another rep in your brain. That's what you're doing. You imagine yourself reading that book, and that's just another repetition. That's like almost another day in your own brain. Because, like, every day, if you read a book, and then also every day you also imagine yourself reading a book, like, that's like 2 days in one that you're imagining yourself. You're imagining yourself, and then you're actually doing it. Wombo combo. Like, it's so amazing. Like, all three of those that I just told you, you'll probably build a habit or lose a habit in a month, maybe. Like, honestly, but I know some serious addictions like jacking off, it took me months to quit that. Months. So this isn't like a fix all cure all or anything. This is just what truly helped me because again with addictions like jacking off, you can't just stop. I remember I tried to put like a sticky note on a drawer and like check off days, and then if I like stop that streak or whatever, I would just like, cross it off with a big X. I would go like 2 to 4 days and then I'd relapse. Because I just didn't work on myself, like my own brain. I just only started doing the action. I would just like every day I'm like, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do this. But then I did it anyway. Because I just didn't imagine myself as the person who would stop. That's just how I saw myself. And it's extremely important. You have to change your self image before you change anything else about yourself. Even as something as simple as what you drink. Like, if you see yourself as a person who drinks soda, obviously you're gonna do it. You have to change what you think about yourself before you change anything. And that's what I've learned.